Live from our Boston headquarters, this is Cybba on Display. In-depth conversations on marketing tips, trends, and strategies. Here's your host, Derek Sullivan.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Cybba on Display. My name is Derek Sullivan. Joining me today is Kimberly, Reilly, and Megan Hayes. They are co-founders of Everybody Water. Everybody Water is a water company on a serious mission. They donate 3% of their annual gross revenue to support clean water and sanitation infrastructure projects that bring running water, sinks, showers, and toilets directly into homes for the first time. They partner with Water1st International, which is a nonprofit that ensures clean water and sanitation projects are sustainable in parts of Africa, Honduras, and India. Best of all, Everybody Water sells water in 100% recyclable, renewable paperboard that has a lower carbon footprint. Very excited to have you guys on.
Hi, Derek. Thank you so much for having us on. I can't believe we didn't send you some water.
That's my fault. I should have started off. But Megan, looks like you have some water with you right now.
I do. So yeah. I don't know from a visual standpoint, but yes, Derek will send you some water at the end of this.
Yes.
So thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of to start off, just to make this short and sweet, I know you guys are friends. Would love to know how you met, how you kind of came up with this idea. I've never had two guests on at once. I don't know who wants to kind of take each question, but feel free to jump in, just kind of give like a brief background.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kim and I are neighbors, and we're not talking in the same town. We lived right across the street from each other. I'm 35, Elm Court, she's 32. So we met a number of years ago when I moved into Cohasset and was fortunate enough to meet Kim. We have daughters the same age, so it worked out perfectly. And a friendship started. And that's how this all began initially. After a number of years, and this was probably about 5 years ago, we started talking about what we wanted to do next in terms of our careers. We had two completely different careers. I was on the recruiting side. She had a high-end lighting design company. And we wanted to do something different. And we wanted to do something that gave back in a big way and that really made an impact and something that our girls could be proud of and even something that our girls could be involved with. And then it was like, well, what is that? And so after talking, it was what are the standouts that are important to us? And for us, it was women and girls and what's holding them back around the world. And at first we thought it would be education. And as we dug deeper, we found out, no, it started further back than that. It all started with clean water. The fact that these women and girls were having to walk miles every day, all day, just to get clean water for their families meant that they didn't get the opportunity to go to school. They didn't get an opportunity to earn an income. So that's where it began. So Kim and I started with what's the problem we want to solve. We didn't come from the beverage industry. We knew nothing about, packaging, the best nonprofits in the water space. So it was a lot of research to get there. But we started with the idea of how can we solve one of the biggest problems holding back women and girls. And we came up with Water for Water, an easy way to communicate while you're doing something that you do every day. That you can make a difference, each of us, in a small way.
Right. Yeah. I never, before going to your site, I didn't realize how much, young women and girls were affected by this. Can you kind of touch on more of that? Have either you or Kimberly, have you guys seen this kind of firsthand? Have you been to any of these villages or communities where they're affected by clean water?
Yes. This is Kim speaking. Yes. So it's really shocking to find out that 2 billion people live without access to clean water. They not only are walking long distances to access any kind of water, but it's usually dirty water. And that piece of the time aspect of it is something that most of us just don't realize when we think about water. When you think about communities that may have a well, for example, or a pump in a village, and that may be a solution. It really isn't able to impact the time that women and girls are traditionally, unfortunately, it's in the hands of women and girls who handle all of the household needs, which require a lot of water. So without being able to deliver water directly into the home, you really can't impact them in terms of their productivity and future. Women and girls are usually given the household duties, which require a lot of water. So cooking, cleaning, bathing, there is so much water required in the household, and you can barely keep up with it, going back and forth, collecting it. So, but we didn't realize that that difference ourselves initially until we met with one particular nonprofit working very successfully in the clean water space, and they only support sustainable solutions that are full solutions that bring a sink, a shower, a toilet into each home in a community, and every community building within that community. And they support really these solutions so that women and girls can move on with their lives. They can pursue educations and careers, and it's amazing the difference that it makes. So we have been able to travel with them. We've gone to Honduras a couple of times, Bangladesh, and really see how it all comes together. And it's quite impressive. They have had 100% of their projects succeed, which is so rare in not just the clean water space, but in a lot of aspects of working within developing countries. It's their projects are designed to be executed and planned by the local people, utilizing local resources so that people have the know-how to repair their systems, and they're fully invested in maintaining them. So we've traveled to all of the local meetings, regional meetings, to really see how these organizations support the communities and grow, and really feel confident that the money that we give is not only going to be used so well, but that it can scale. That no matter how much funds go to these organizations, that they will simply just be able to do twice as much, 3 times as much work in these spaces. It's incredibly effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing about brands with a mission and ones that are able to succeed and make sure that it's sustainable. Since working with Water1st, do you know how many homes, or I guess maybe not since you've worked with them, but since they've been around, how many homes have been affected by their infrastructure as far as bringing clean water into homes? Do you know how many different families that they've been able to help?
They have helped hundreds of thousands of people, actually. The exact number, I don't have the exact number today, but at some point, Megan, I believe, was around 300,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe, and it's more since then, I'm sure. It's really incredible. The founder of Water1st International, Marla Smith Nilsson, had a vision of really working in nonprofit space in a way where you could help people help themselves. And so she decided to approach water projects in this way, to work with local people and to offer only full solutions. And so I'm always amazed by the fact that one person could impact so many others.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk about your packaging as well. I know that it's 100% recyclable, and it is a renewable paperboard. Can you kind of touch more upon how you came to using these materials and why it's important to you?
Yeah, when we first decided to sell water, the one thing we did know was we didn't want to contribute to the plastic water bottle problem. So we looked into other kinds of packaging options, and we decided that the carton was the best alternative. Mostly because of a lot of the efficiencies in the carbon footprint in the making of the carton versus any other kind of material like aluminum or glass, or definitely plastic. It uses mostly renewable resources. The paper is FSC certified, so the trees regrow. The cap is also derived from sugarcane for the same reason. But one of the biggest efficiencies is in the transportation. Before the water is filled in cartons, it's shipped in rolls. And then formed into cartons when it's filled. So to ship the equivalent in round containers, plastic, glass, aluminum, can take maybe 26 times as many trucks before it's even filled.
Wow.
So that's how we decided on the type of packaging. And, maybe we'll change packaging types over time when, there are even better solutions. Really, we wanted to focus mostly on our mission. And that was something that we really had to decide on early on in terms of marketing and PR. What is it that we were going to talk about? Was it going to be the package, or was it going to be our mission? And given that there are other carton waters and that there could be more in the future, and mostly given the fact that it's not, for the reason that we started the business, we decided to really put all of our messaging into our mission.
So what I love about companies that start up, as far as like it could be friends or family together, are really those early stories. How did you guys, I guess, when you first started and you were talking about doing this, did one of you design the package, or did you hire an outsource someone else to do it, or was it all kind of done in-house together?
Well, we first attempted to do it on our own. So this is a lesson in branding. And we took a look at what we'd come up with, and we realized we were completely off. And that was a hard decision because we were ready to go to market. And we knew that this was going to delay us for, a number of months, but we had to get it right. So we went through the whole branding process to really understand who we are as a brand at our core. And it's super intense. I mean, since your group is marketing teams who are looking at this, they understand the importance of it. I think sometimes on our end, you get so excited about the product and that you don't necessarily take the time to really think about all the different components of the brand and ensuring that the look and feel really represents who you are at your core. So we did hire someone, he's fabulous, and he worked closely with us and all the different pieces. And the moment, Kim can speak more to this because she comes from a design background, but one of the things that we found, the minute you try to make it really, really simple and clean, it's so hard. We realize, you want to say so much, yet you realize, what, people don't read. And we want also for it to be something beautiful that when you hold it, where it's displayed without too much going on, yet with a clear message that resonates with people right away and speaks to who we are. So, from the handwritten piece of everybody water, just the everybody is handwritten, not a font, down to water with a heart, which is our tagline, and all the different components. So that was super important, but it did set us back a number of months, and it was one of the best decisions we made.
Right. It's a lot of moving parts. I'm sorry, Kim, you can go on.
Yeah, no, I think that Megan and I are both people that really respond and like clean packaging, but it was something that was difficult for us to create for ourselves. I think any company, when you're really close to it and you feel like we have a story, like we have to tell, thought we had to really maybe tell all of this story on the package, and realize that people just don't absorb that information at that moment that they're looking at a package for the first time. So really, how could we capture the essence of who we are in a simple way without being boring too, without, because you can be really simple and just look very generic at the same time. But we did have an artist handwrite about 100 different versions of everybody. And we felt right away that this one was the right one. We tweaked it a little bit. And, I think that as simple as it is, I think it says a lot. As Megan noted, that the handwritten, the the human quality to the writing, speaks about really the humanness of our mission, the imperfection, also the humanity in some of the script, which isn't perfect. The forward movement of the font, I think, really evokes progress. And we also wanted it to feel sophisticated but approachable. So, it's simple, but I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, I love how meticulous you guys are too. Like it's down to the very last detail, and like you said, you had them write everybody 100 times, which I can't imagine his hand must have been very sore after. But it really speaks to how involved and hands-on you both are in this project. Kimberly, so you said that you have a background in design as well, correct? You said
yes.
And it was in lighting. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said
Well, going way back, I actually my graduate studies were in history of European design. And I worked in that field, appraising rare European objects. I really got to work with a lot of the top designers around the world doing that. Some amazing interiors. And then from there, segued into a lighting design company that I created that had samples in various design showrooms around the country, working mostly with the same kind of clients, architects and designers, and doing custom pieces with them. So that was very different from selling water. But I think that one of the things I enjoyed most in that process was creating that brand. And I think people, just communicating. But one of the frustrations over time in that business was just being able to be able to touch everybody, not to use our word, but I mean, really like something that could be something that everyone could connect with, not just, the upper echelon of society that could afford custom made lighting pieces, for example. So I find it to be very fulfilling and satisfying that the people who can appreciate good branding, good design, can buy a water.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I think it takes a great amount of, I would say, experience to be able to create a brand with designing that is so accessible to such a large audience as well. And like you said, not just like that upper echelon of people that may appreciate it. Going off of that, even looking at your branding on site, your social channels, like your Instagram, it's, beautifully curated. Was any of that outsourced, or was that all done with your skill set?
Well, it's been an evolution. I'll tell you, Megan and I knew early on that what we had on social media or our website wasn't necessarily, what we wanted there. But to get to where we are now took a lot of content that we just didn't have in the early stages, in order to have to be able to tell the story about the mission, to be able to have the right product shots, to be able to work within the right color schemes, to be able to integrate lifestyle into the brand. It really takes time, and we had to kind of move forward so that we, not get stopped by perfection, but be able to move forward with our sales and our brand. And eventually, probably one of the biggest, and we worked with some great people that helped us get further along in that path, some branding people. But one of the benefits of COVID was that we suddenly, it was a big hit to our business, and we had a lot more time where we weren't doing events and sales were really slowed down. And so I was able to spend a lot of time going through the thousands and thousands of pictures that we had just hadn't been able to sort through, and kind of work on that to take it to the next level. And Megan has a great eye too. So, I think together we know when everything, we know when it's right, and we like where it's at now, but we're always looking to take it to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. So everything is branded correctly. You have your mission down from a design standpoint. You're ready to go to market. what are some of those first early challenges you found in marketing, right? Was it maybe getting sales through social, through paid advertisements? What were some of those first steps you took as a company to kind of get that initial awareness?
Well, we actually didn't go to market in the traditional way. And I actually used to be a recruiter in marketing and advertising. So I came at it from a different angle, but we really grew by grassroots. So to date, we have never done one ad at all. It's all been
not one paid ad?
Not one paid ad. And we launched in January of 2019. And
wow. Okay.
yeah, so it was really building through grassroots. So it was Kim and Megan in our cars, driving around, getting our water sold into the right places. So into like juice bars and cafes and bakeries and fitness studios. So the right eyes were on it. That's not a volume play, but we needed to, introduce the brand. We've also been hesitant on advertising because we give back, and it feels, we wanted it to be more organic in terms of people wanting it, not feeling like you're pushing a brand like buy, really becoming part of a community in a bigger way. So that's how things started in early January 2019, actually kind of Q1, Q2. And in doing that, we quickly caught the eye of big companies, a huge music festival. Press came to us. We had done no PR. It all came to us in the first number of months. And from there, things started to grow in a big way. And Kim can fill you in a little bit more.
Well, from there, our biggest marketing efforts came in partnering with bigger brands. But I mean, in a sense, with everyone that all of our customers, with any customer that buys our product, we engage with them on social media, and we promote them and really want to highlight their contribution to our efforts as well. But in a bigger way with the larger companies, the hospitality brands, the corporations, we became very active and dynamic, I'd say, compared to any other food and beverage company in being able to collaborate with them to help tell the story of the intentionality in their choice. So, I mean, they have all kinds of water choices. Why are they choosing Everybody Water? They want to share that message with their customers, and they also want to share that message with their employees. The fact that they are more responsible in the type of packaging that they're sourcing, but also for sure that, the social impact piece and supporting women and girls globally is very topical now. People are, it's top of mind. People want to get behind that. And then meanwhile, supporting a small women-owned business also, like ours, that's local in this area, in the Boston area, New England area at least. So working closely with those customers to create assets, digital assets and printed assets, really do some activations on site, some speaking events, all kinds, make videos. We've done all kinds of projects like that to really collaborate.
Yeah, I think it's almost unheard of in today's age, right? And I think that really speaks on the importance of having a mission and being driven that way. There's so many brands that would kill to have a successful company without placing ads or without paying, for branding. What were some of those? I know you said you partnered with some hospitality brands, and you kind of took more of a wholesale approach. What were some of those first big brands that kind of took you guys on?
Well, the very first hotel was the Fairmont Copley Hotel in Boston, and the Boston Harbor Hotel. From there, it has spiraled. We're in a lot of luxury and boutique properties. Beacon 15, the newly opened Newbury property, the old Ritz-Carlton in Boston, the Whitney Hotel on Cape Cod, the resorts like the Chatham Bars Inn, and then this past winter we launched out in Aspen, Colorado. Also, we're with Auberge properties in a few locations in Aspen and Newport, Rhode Island, and in Connecticut. Megan, did you want to add any other?
Yeah, we've also extended beyond hospitality. So, yes, we're more B2B in a lot of ways. So we're partnered with the Children's Hospital, also with corporations like Boston Private. In addition to that, the Boston Ballet and the Opera House when it was open. So, the great thing about water is it can be anywhere. And it's this opportunity for these big brands to share what's important to them. And we're able to help them with the messaging. We've also worked with brands like Lululemon. So really across numerous verticals. And, it's been pretty incredible in not doing any advertising. It's just, people really wanting to make a difference in the little things that they do. And especially in hospitality, they wanted to find ways to integrate what's important to them as a company or as a hotel, as a property. We're in country clubs like the country club in Brookline. And that way they can weave it into the messaging to their guests and to their members. And it's an easy way for them to do it. So I think that has helped in terms of growing it, how we make it easy for them to communicate what's most important to them to their members and guests.
Absolutely. Do you find that there's any social channels that work better for your brand? Your Instagram, like I said before, is super well curated. Is there anything that works better? And in addition to that, I think you mentioned this before, but do you collaborate with any influencers, maybe micro or macro influencers, to help get your mission out, your brand out?
Well, also, it hasn't been traditional. So usually you go to somebody's site, and they have all these big name customers, and you look at their Instagram following, and you're like, oh my gosh, they've got 70,000 or 120,000 followers. We have just under 5,000 followers. We've really built a super, super tight community. We have worked with a few influencers, not as of late. This is pre-COVID, and just did product swaps. So again, we have never paid to an influencer to talk about us. And again, I think it speaks to the organic growth. When you have a product that's a give back and mission driven, I think looking at going to market in a different way is really important. There's the standard ways of going to market. And it also helped that Kim and I don't come from a beverage industry. We were new to all this. So we did it in a lot of ways that we felt was best. And it really resonated with our community. Definitely our number one is Instagram in terms of the way we're able to communicate, not only from visuals, but also video. But we're finding more and more that we're also doing more on LinkedIn because we work with so many bigger companies and helping them to get the word about their mission. So doing joint press releases like with the Hotel Jerome, which is the Auberge property in Aspen.
Just to kind of wrap this up, generally with these podcasts, they're pretty marketing heavy, but I really like that, your brand is really about a particular mission. That's why it started. That's your passion, and it's consistent even until now. So is there anything that you want to kind of leave our listeners or watchers off with, ways that they can help, this clean water issue, maybe some easy steps they could do at home to kind of help this crisis that we're currently seeing?
Yeah, one of the things, I think just the awareness was first and foremost that there is an issue with clean water. And it's not that there's access. It's not the access issue. I'm sorry, it's the access issue. It's not that there isn't water available. And just people being aware of it first and foremost. What's nice about it is this is solvable by the small things that we do every day. In addition to that, you can learn more from our nonprofit partner, Water1st. So it's Water1st as in 1st.org, and learn more about how you can get involved. One of the things Kim and I really loved about Water1st, or love, is not only can we travel with them and share the stories, but our girls can be involved. So they are in middle school and high school, and they're members of the Water1st board and learning about the water crisis and also fundraising.
Yeah. And I just add that if you own a small business or you work with, large businesses, that, we'd be interested in partnering with as many businesses as possible and carrying everybody water and help delivering the messages that we spoke about.
So I will be sure to link everything in our YouTube description below, as well as our blog page. Megan and Kimberly are both generous enough to offer the listeners and watchers of our show 10% off your first purchase of Everybody Water using the code Cybba10. That's Cybba10, which will also include as well. That's good until the end of July. For any small businesses out there, ones that we may work with or people that are listening, please reach out if you'd like to partner with Everybody Water. They have a great mission. They stand for something great. Kimberly and Megan, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Derek. It was fun.
Thank you so much, Derek.
Of course. Okay, bye.
Bye.
For more episodes, including our webinar replays, please visit our Spotify and Apple Music pages. Thanks.